There was a discussion with Nintendo about actually laser printing a Switch Lite version of the Switch 2, or a Switch 2 Lite, and actually have it carbon printed via laser. The entire board, the entire casing, just laser print one. Nintendo asked me, would that be possible? So we're looking into it. You would have it written on the box. This console was laser designed and carbon printed by Incam. Nintendo were the first company I invested in who actually wanted to use my invention. Shigeru Miyamoto was the first one that I invested in, period, to think, oh, I can use that. So that's why I offered Nintendo $1 trillion right away, an investment to proceed with projects that they have, right? Because a matter of fact is, depending on the state, I may be able to do it. But we'll have to run some tests. But technically, we should be able to laser print a console, and that's not a problem. It would be interesting. Would it transfer in software it into states? That's the thing. I'm curious. But we can always install the software after. But technically, there should be no problem. We'll take a look. I'll take a look. I'm gonna ask GTF to take a look at that. If we can emulate the proper chemicals into a laser using Halo, maybe it just needs an additive or something in the fission of the ghostly object itself, to complete, to finalize a print. So we'll be taking a look, actually use Halo to print out consoles or components. We can for sure do a wooden body, not a problem. We could design a wooden console. I know it would be kind of odd, but it would be a collector's item, rare. That's for sure, a hybrid, not a hybrid console, but a portable console that's made from carbon fiber, made from hemp, laser printed. We could do that. A carbon fiber body made of hemp. We can laser print that. Not a problem. So we could always do that. Components we're still developing, right? I just don't have an ETA right now. But Nintendo were the first to actually think, you know what, this guy's invention is so bright, I might as well try to use it to better my company. So I thought, like, oh, that's sweet, They were bought out of necessity and wanted to actually work with the company that bought them out. So I invest in Nintendo no matter what. And they bring good games to the table, right? You know what I mean? For family, for kids, and all great timeless classics, And I leave Nintendo, free range on what to do. But I gave them my ideas of what I would like to see as games, and therefore with the investments, they can actually push out great games, right? Till we figure some stuff out. If need be, more money will be provided. Because I keep growing in investments. By buying, I make money. You know what I mean? The companies I purchase in return will make a profit, and will increase in value, and I can always just resell stock if the companies I don't want to invest in. But for now, I'm holding the stock because it keeps everything in control. Why sell a company even if you don't plan on funding it? You're keeping the general control over the public. That company won't evolve unless you fund it. You know what I mean? So that's therefore, if the company itself is looking to get out of bankruptcy, period, they have to come to me for funding, or actually work hard to actually do something to get out of that bankruptcy state. I own the stock. That's it. You know what I mean? You can see it, my thing, right? GTF to admit it, I have ghost cameras. I should be able to see my wife, but I guess she is a little shy, camera shy, I guess. well, so yeah, I made major announcements, and I'm very proud. Incam controls pretty much the global market right now because we purchase all in North America, and the North American companies were distributing everything globally, and have ties all over the globe. I can't control every little detail, but I have a better monopoly of what plays out, especially in North America. And especially in the States, I purchased everything. Everything was goddamn cheap. Everyone went bankrupt because of Halo and Incam. My one invention bankrupted everybody, so I had enough money to make a prototype and enough money to buy everything. Get the point? People invested in Incam, right? And that will only increase in value. If you want to beat me in stock or in value, start working hard. You know what I mean? I might not be getting money directly. They have it in an account for me, but they're using it to play within the stock market to put Halo on the map, to make it a reality, right? That's why it bankrupted all the states, and that's why they have the tariffs, because they're trying to squeeze every penny possible out of the people to try to get out back of that bankruptcy, right? Doesn't work. They're just trying to control the gold that's being distributed in North America, and trying to stop Halo from becoming a reality. That's what's happening in the States. And they even mock me in making their own company called Incor. Use my own invention, my research, my discoveries, then pretend like it's nothing, and just lie to their people that they're making discoveries and cheaper stuff, and they're making investments in that. If you check, I'm worth so much more. Donald Trump actually tried to purchase a machine when I was selling. I was selling because I went bankrupt. No one was investing, right? So I was selling. I gave up, basically. We have proof of Donald Trump trying to commit that transaction, and it was blocked. GTF2 said, no, we're not doing this. You know what I mean? They blocked the transaction from going. And look at me now. I own the world. But I'll always have that rival in the system, in the stock market, Encore, or this company in the background, always being trying a rival. Always trying to steal from me, or use my work, my inventions, or always trying to fuck with me and stop me from achieving my goals, right? Restricting gold use and materials, and you know what I mean? Look who has more power in Uphold. Anyways, because me and GTF2 were bright, we studied the market over time and just made the right purchases. I goddamn saved all North America with just one invention, basically. Purchasing all the stocks that were available, till they solidify in bonds, basically took monopoly of everything. All under Incam Industries, being renamed soon to InGen. Basically, the stocks have to take mold and stuff like that, but well, works out. So what else I would invest in? Dodge, Stellantis, GTF, if you can fund them for a thermal engine, to give them a few millions, just so they can run some tests, or do the test yourself. I don't know, up to you. See what kind of a better combustion engine we can make out of gold. And does not need to be a big engine. Could be a small, producing low numbers engine. Just study it. See if we can make an off-road Jeep, military off-road Jeep that'd be very practical with a smaller engine that's made of gold, for example. Or develop a uranium power cell. You know what I mean? Using gold. And then the fission would be basically a uranium power cell with the gas. That's my idea. Have it done within the Stellantis group or Rochelle, or organize that, within Canada. And Bell, I want Bell to investigate in the States what kind of internet they have per area, and what would be cheaper, viable upgrade routes to make these systems a reality, to have better sales figures, right? And give the option to the customer, do you want to upgrade your receiver to the gaming unit? Basically, sales would be either done by phone or design the consoles themselves, even though they require internet functionality and connection to a server to be sold in stores. I don't know. You would have to put important notices on the box. I've one thing for sure: the Switch. I want the Switch 2 to still become a thing, because there's a need for a handheld market in Japan. Put simply, Nintendo very famous in Japan. It's crazy. So it was well worth an investment, because I know for sure that the company is always going to be making money, and they always make good products, right? I technically only bought out the North American portion of it in stock, but I had to buy out Nintendo soon afterwards. Some stocks came into play, and they had to sell the entire company over to me. But I want Shigeru Miyamoto to stay in place and keep all the employees, right? Without changing the branding. Maybe add a little touch to the branding, implying that it's running on fiber optics. Maybe each company brand could develop a more unified logo that uses or works with Bell fiber optic system, right? Or Bell could develop its own logo for their TV and gaming service, right? Basically a streaming. It could be a unified three-way logo, unifying all three through fiber optics. Therefore, it would be up to player choice which system they want to get, depending on the games that they like to play. You know what I mean? Everybody seems to have internet. Everybody has a phone, right? So, why not use the internet to provide the max gaming experience possible? You know what I mean? We have the technology, let's use it. Each company that I bought out has a unique charm. The three gaming companies I purchased, they all have their own charm. So I don't want that to change. But offer cross-platform playability on select titles, mainly the Xbox titles. I would like to see Nintendo on an Xbox console, for example. We could develop a Nintendo that's a title that's available across platform, or available on all three. For example, a Mario platformer, kind of like Mario Run, but done on the TV, right? But for sure, each company unit will have access to the Halo bill that we're currently working on. I want this game to be part of your subscriber service, right? Included right from the start. And further titles along the story would be purchasable in store on your Xbox or GameCube or Cube or whatever PlayStation will be working on. You know what I mean? I want this title to be available to any player at home. And I suggest we actually do a multiplayer because the Halo fans will be disappointed if there's no actual multiplayer in the game. Design a multiplayer based on the single player story, right? And that will come along with further development into the software. You know,